Alright guys, gals, and everything in between, first thing I have to say, if you have not seen this latest episode of The Strain yet, you need to turn this off and come back and watch this review afterwards because there's going to be some major spoilers dropped. So, you've been warned. I'm here today. I'm reviewing this week's episode of The Strain, and this episode was kind of the big one, and I actually was going to wear I bought a bunch of new Strain shirts, and I got the Strain hat, and I was all set to wear it for you guys, and I was like, yes, I'm all excited. I'm making this review a lot quicker because I've been feeling extremely ill all day, so I'm sorry about that, especially because of how disappointing my reviews have been this year. I promise I'm trying to get back on it, but it's just been a really, really tough time. Anywho, so yes, new cool Strain merchandise I got, Strain hat. I have some Strain shirts, you'll be seeing those here pretty soon. As you can see, I had to wear this shirt because it is official, Setrakian has been taken down. Not fully dead yet, but taken down. And I did like the fact that they took homage to what was in the books and the graphic novel with the blood thinners. And I was waiting for that to come into play, where Setrakian essentially takes too many heat out because he's slower than Ichorst, and he doesn't have the same combat skills anymore, so he has to outthink him. And Setrakian being back into his old glory was just really cool, because Setrakian in the first two seasons in particular was always kind of one of the main cool parts. As you can remember, he was always the one throwing down, killing Strigoi, and now he's like slower, he can't do it. And so taking the blood thinners was a perfect exit for him, and it was so satisfying because they had this amazing monologue played by David Bradley, and David Bradley just delivered it perfectly, where he wants the master to hear him, and he's talking down to him, and he wants him to know that he's not a number, he's a name, and he just gives it to him. He's like, it's not going to be this face, it's not going to be me, but you are going to lose. It's like he's turning those tables, because multiple characters died in this episode. Gus and his cousin made it in. Gus's cousin died, and that ultimately, it bought Setrakian time, and as Gus is about to be killed, stabbed through the heart, and it's just seeing Setrakian in all that glory was just awesome. I have to dedicate a chunk of that to Abraham Setrakian, because he is one of the coolest characters in this show, and in my opinion, probably the coolest character. So it was great seeing him get his send-off that he rightfully deserves. We get some really cool action set pieces with Fett and Quinlan and Roman. They are a fantastic trio, and they discover that the Brooklyn Bridge and all the bridges and tunnels are being destroyed and cut off into Manhattan. That's what they need. I like that you see that these balances of, in this episode in particular, that people with good intentions end up having these events happen. F, for instance, with his son. You have Setrakian and his life has to be taken. You see this give and take from every character, and that just gives each one more weight. And I really like that about this show, is that there's always a cause and effect. It just had a really great impact. All of the action was great. Cream, when he was ratting out Gus and Setrakian and all that, I actually thought the grenade scene in that one was a little bit hokey. It went differently than how I expected, but it was a little bit kind of on the cheesy ha-ha end almost, because the master like sneaks up, grabs the grenade, and then like rips the grenade apart and goes, huh. And I get he's cocky and egotistical. It felt out of place to me, but the rest of it was just also intense, because when Cream initially was like holding ransom for the information, and he pulls out the grenade and is like, I'm not going to let you drink me, kind of thing, I was like, oh wow, that actually, there you go, Cream is thinking his way through it. He is vindictive, and he lost. So as we're going towards the end of this episode, this is where we're seeing all the final puzzle pieces moving. F is back in New York. We got Setrakian, who just had to sacrifice himself. He's again, still not dead. He has some time to say goodbye, and those of us who watch Doctor Who as well know that these goodbyes can get drawn out for a little while. So I say he probably has about half an episode left in him. Vet and Quinlan are trying to find their way over so they can drop off the nuke with Roman, and it's like everyone is all set. The pieces are ready to go, and we're ready for our final push. And I'm excited. I like seeing these puzzle pieces fall into place. If you're asking me personally, I'd wish that maybe they'd gotten to this spot in episodes sooner, but that's just me nitpicking at this point. Because I think the pacing of this season is great. I just want it to have that grand, epic scale, and it so far has done pretty well at that, especially for the budget that it has. Alright guys, gals, and everything in between, what did you think of this week's Strain episode? Did you guys like it as much as I did? Was that Setrakian scene just totally not one of the coolest things you've seen all week on television? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Got plenty more videos coming to you. Love you guys.